Good evening, families. This evening in Comprehension Corner, what I want you to do is start focusing on endurance and reading, building up our reading stamina. What is happening is we're having a lot of scholars that are just flipping through books and not really taking their time to investigate and invest some time into really understanding what's happening in the text. We all know that reading does not only begin with words, but it also begins with taking time to investigate illustrations, as we have practiced a few weeks ago. So this week, what I want you to do during your reading time is give your scholars about 5 minutes. Set a timer, set your alarm clock for 5 minutes, and have that scholar just sit and spend some quality time with the book. I want you to pay attention to whether or not they're actually engaged in the story. Are they taking their times with the pages, or are they just kind of flipping through very quickly? So what we want to do is just kind of build up that stamina. So this week's we're going to go for 5 minutes of independent reading time. Not necessarily with a text they can read, but a text they can spend some time with. And then next week we'll add some time to it and see if we can't build up that way. We're doing that as well in the classroom, just to help them become more motivated to spend a little bit more time with text. Tonight, when you are actually engaged in the reading process, what I want you to do is have your scholars focus on, number one, the characters in the story. Who is the story about? We know in text that is usually classified as picture books, there's sometimes animals, there's sometimes people, sometimes there's cars. So we want you to focus on the who piece, the characters in the story, main characters and supporting characters. For example, we have been reading the Judy B Jones series. This is just the second book, and it's Judy B Jones and a Little Monkey Business. All of you scholars out there, you know that our main character is, you guessed it, Judy B Jones. And then she has some supporting characters and friends like Lucille and her brother, Ollie, as a supporting character, the teacher, Mrs. So that's what I want you to do while you're reading the text that you're focused on this week, is really look at who are the characters in the text. The next thing I want you to do is really start paying attention to the setting. We know for most of the Judy B Jones stories, she's in her kindergarten classroom. There are some instances where she is at home. And we talked about the difference between those two types of settings. They also know that setting is not just where, but when. When does the story take place? Is it fall? Is it spring? Is it morning? Is it evening? So having that conversation with your scholars as well, it helps to deepen the understanding of the text. And then the final thing that I want you to look at is plot. What's that major problem or major situation in the story? What's kind of driving the action? So this week we're focusing on character, setting, plot, and then making sure that you give your scholars some time to build up their reading stamina. Thank you.